So this trip we did 1205.1 miles. We averaged 26.2 miles per gallon, average speed of 35 miles an hour, and 33 hours and 42 minutes travelling. Right, welcome to this video. This is our tour review, our Scotland 2020 tour review. We're so pleased that we were able to get to Scotland this year. We didn't think we were going to make it. No. And it all feels like we sort of made it and got back in time just for another blooming lockdown. So we've been home a week, and when we came back we were back into a tier 3 area, so we couldn't go anywhere out of the tier 3 area, and it's now Tuesday and the new lockdown starts on Thursday. So
yeah, because before we went away we were under some restrictions, but we could still go on holiday, couldn't we?
Yeah, with
people in our household. Then when we came back we were in tier 3.
Yeah.
So we could only go to Southport, couldn't we?
Yeah, and now the campsites are closing anyway.
They're closed anyway, so we go to Southport.
Yeah, so we're back into another lockdown. Let's hope this is not as long, and let's hope people are sensible about what they're doing. And
let's hope this 4 weeks really sorts things out.
Yeah, so I'll be thinking about what videos I've got to do.
Yeah, but we have managed to get haircut, haven't we?
Yeah, we've got a pre-lockdown haircut.
Yeah,
now,
which we have. That was such a relief to me because trying to do it again.
Yeah, so we asked her to do them short. So,
just in case.
It might last if it goes on longer than 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Let's hope not. Anyway, let's talk about our tour. I just wanted to sort of remind ourselves what we did on the tour. So we started at Strathclyde, didn't we?
Yes.
And that's just really an overnight stop. And then we went to Killin.
Yes.
Marrowgowan Caravan and Motorhome Club site, and we had a little walk out of the campsite down to Finlanrig Castle, which is famous for Rob Roy visiting.
Yes, Rob Roy visited it. Yeah, and also part of that day we managed to go down to Loch Tay, didn't we, and discover about the railway line. Yeah,
because there's a railway line that used to run from what was the pier on Loch Tay into the town, and we sort of dug up some history on that, and that was quite interesting.
So it was a really interesting afternoon, if you like historical things.
Yeah, which we do.
Yeah.
The next day we went around. We drove around Loch Tay and Loch Earn, because we really hadn't explored that area at all.
No, we hadn't.
We tended always to go to Killin as a sort of one
night stop, and then carry on, go further north. So no, that was nice to look around there.
Yeah, and it is a nice area as well. So I enjoyed that. Then we went to the Crannoch Centre, which we mentioned, and that was a really interesting day, and really enjoyed that. We had a tour guide to ourselves, didn't we?
We did, because we were on the first tour of the day, and there was no one else there, so we had the complete tour on our own, including the puppet show at the end.
Yeah, that's right. Basically on our own, and it pity we couldn't show you the actual tour, because it was fascinating listening to the guy talking about why they built those crannochs there and how many of them there were. Hundreds of them, and was it
30,000? I thought it was, or something incredible.
No, something like 31,000 lochs in Scotland.
Oh, was it that?
And each of those locks is believed to have had a crannoch on it.
It's just amazing. How
they used to live and why they did it. But the other thing that really blew my mind about that was that they were showing us how they used lathes. They made lathes. So
we used to have a customer who used to have a cost centre of centre lathes, didn't they? And I was thinking that all the time. Doing that back then.
The only difference was they were like pedal operated or bow operated, rather than electric machine operated. But they were doing the same thing all those thousands of years ago.
That's right.
Amazing day, really was. Then we went to Bunree. We had a fantastic drive through Glencoe, and it was the weather was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, never had a better weather day, have we, for going through that? It's never normally been foggy or wet. Yeah. So that was just amazing. Yeah. And then to arrive at your favourite site at the end of it. Yeah. Was really nice, wasn't it?
Yeah, we just got the chairs out, didn't we, and just sat there.
Yeah, that's right. Just look at the view.
Yeah. we didn't have it long enough at Bunbury, but what we did manage to do was we managed to jump onto the ferry, took the motorhome onto the ferry, the Corran ferry, which takes you across to Ardnamurchan and that way, and around that sort of peninsula area, and there was some brilliant views there. We particularly like, I think it's Glen Uig.
At the end, at the top there.
Yeah, there was some fantastic views over to Skye.
Yeah, and you could see Mallaig.
Yeah.
And then we finished that day off with going to Glenfinnan, didn't we?
Glenfinnan, which again, because there were less people around, it was it was great, because me and Poppy went up to the top and we had a view of the monument and the viaduct.
Yeah. No.
And then we went down to the monument. It was a very atmospheric day there, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Then we went to Culloden. We had 6 nights at Culloden, for one reason or another. But because we were at Culloden, it did mean that we could travel around and have a good look around, and we did quite a bit of days out, didn't we? Yeah,
we did. We started at the Culloden battlefield just up the road.
Yeah.
Then we went to the cairns, didn't we, and the viaduct.
Yeah. And that was I enjoyed that. Yeah.
So that took a day.
The Battle of Culloden, the visitors' centre, again, because we couldn't film inside, we had a tour guide all to ourselves again. Yeah. And no, it's fascinating talking to that guy, about all the events that led up to the battle. The battle itself obviously was probably over in an hour and a half, didn't they say?
Yeah.
But what led up to it, and the politics and the intrigue, it was fascinating.
It was great talking to him. Yeah, so then the next day, didn't we go to Fort George?
Fort George, yeah. It's somewhere we hadn't filmed before, but we had been before. And unfortunately the weather again wasn't brilliant. But
no, we probably couldn't go in the museum, so we got a little bit cold.
You stood outside freezing, didn't you? Yeah.
Which was nice. That was why it was really nice having the van there.
Yeah.
Because after we'd walked round the top and everything, went back to the van, had some soup, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
And just to warm yourself up.
Yeah.
But the museum there was great. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And thank you. Then we had a trip around. Well, we went to Bewley first, Bewley Priory, a place we'd never been before, but we'd driven past so many times. Great little priory there. Amazing tree there, wasn't there?
Yeah, there were several amazing trees in the. Well, I was going to say the graveyard. I suppose the entrance.
Oh, it is the graveyard.
I suppose it was the graveyard.
Yeah. Then a brilliant trip around Glen Affric. It's a fabulous place, but we'd forgotten how
long it took to get. I think because when we'd stayed there before, we were going up and down there. We probably got, you get used to a journey and you think, it's not as far as you thought it was.
So maybe it was that,
but it was further than we thought it was, and it was. We got is it Cannock? Yeah, and then we realised that we'd still got another 10 miles.
No, it was more than that. So 15 miles still to go.
So we got past Dog Falls, didn't we? That was the first place we came across.
The car park was packed, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then there was another lock with a long name that we did stop at, but there weren't really any walks.
Mayvane. So I can't remember what it's called now.
And then we drove on a bit further. You and Poppy went for a hill walk.
Yeah.
But we could have gone on further because there's a lovely area right at the end. But we'd asked Mrs. Satnag and she said it was 37 miles to get back. But we better get back.
Yeah. So the following day after that, we went to Urquhart Castle. It's a castle we hadn't been to before. We had been to many years ago, like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
But it's a castle we've driven past lots and lots of times and never got in there to actually film anything, mainly because it's full of coaches and tourists. And
it's always been really packed.
Yeah, and that's been a big benefit of these having to pre-book your tickets, is that there's simply less people about, so you do get a chance to see more things.
But it was a very wet day, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was so wet that we're really glad to get back to the motorhome, and we got to change of clothes.
We had to. We were
so
absolutely drenched, weren't we?
Yeah. Change of clothes, a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
A bit of lunch.
Then we went down to Fort Augustus and got the chips, didn't we? Hence the £2 parking in the car park.
After that, we went to the Woods. Woods is a site we put a deposit down for a visit we were going to do during the summer. That was when we originally planned our Scottish trip during the summer, and we obviously couldn't make it, so we took the chance to
use our deposit. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
that's right. It was only a quick stop, but we had a little look at the Bannockburn battlefield site.
Yeah,
couldn't get in the visitor centre because we thought we couldn't book, and then we discovered we could have booked, and it's complicated.
You know it goes. Yeah, so we didn't manage that, but that was it broke the journey.
Yeah, that was good.
And then we went for our last 3 nights to Moffat.
Yeah.
Courtesy of the camping and
caravanning club, and I think I said in the video that they gave me a press pass which entitled me to 3 free nights, so that's why I won't include it on the costs, but it also meant I could do a little bit longer looking at the site itself. But I was also asked prior to that by the people who run the Visit Moffat Facebook group to say a few words about Moffat, so hopefully by the time you watch this you'll have seen that video. Now there is a Facebook video as well, so with me wandering about pointing at things, so
but we chose Moffat because Moffat's a place we've regularly been, and we know all the things we like in the town,
and it's a great place
around, and
if you want somewhere that's in Scotland, that's near a town, it's got all the amenities, Moffat's definitely the place to be.
Not far from the M74, but yet fairly quiet at night, isn't it?
It's either a great stopover or a great base for visiting, looking around the borders area. Yeah. Right, so let's have a look at how much it all cost.
Right. Right, well, we spent £304.91 on groceries, which is sort of similar to our lifetime. We spent £2 on parking at Fort Augustus when we had some chips. We bought fuel before we left, and we bought some at Moffat on the way back, so our fuel was £291.82. We got some gas courtesy of Bob Mackay, that was £26. And we had some meals out. We managed to have a meal.
Oh, we had one meal out.
One meal out, I had one meal out just before the restrictions came in. In Scotland for eating out. Well, so that was £45, and then we had some drinks at the Black Ball Hotel Moffat outside
before 6 o'clock.
£10.60. And so the total we spent on eating or drinking out was £55.60.
So it certainly saves us money on eating out.
So museums and entrance fees, the Cranach Centre, which I've spelt wrong, was £21.20. Then the other main expense was site fees. So we had a deposit for the Woods that we'd carried forward, had a night at Strathclyde, 2 nights at Killin, 3 nights at Bunree, did some washing, so we got some tokens, Culloden Moor 6 nights, and the balance at the Woods, and that came to £299.05. And so the grand total was £1,000 exactly, and 58 pence. That's the end of our little tour review. We certainly enjoyed our tour. It was a good tour. And hopefully we'll get back there again next year. When this is all over. We go to some slightly different sites that we couldn't go to this year because they were closed or too far away. But that is the end of our touring, I think, for this year. It looks like it, doesn't it? We might get a slight break in December, but we've got somewhere booked in December. We have, after the lockdown's supposed to be over. But it is just one site, isn't it? Whether we'll be able to go or not is a different matter. I'm still planning on my Northern Ireland tour next year, but I have to see how that works out. We still paid for the ferry. We just carried the ferry ticket over. So hopefully we'll be able to get away to Northern Ireland next year. So looking forward to that. I have got some more videos coming up, and I've got a couple of product reviews.
coming up, so watch out for those. And we're going to do that 40 questions challenge.
We are, yes.
Which I think I might call how many questions challenge?
No, 40 questions.
40 questions. We'll see if we can make it fairly snappy. And so watch out for that. If you haven't already, please subscribe, hit the notifications icon, and you'll get updates when we release another video. So we'll see you soon.
Okay then. Bye then.
Bye then.